People say if you whisper her name 3 times, she appears. But Bloody Mary was never a ghost. She was real. And the truth is far more disturbing than the legend. Long before she became a monster whispered in mirrors, Mary was just a child, a princess of England, daughter of a king, daughter of a queen. And for a brief moment in history, she was loved. But love inside a royal court rarely survives ambition. Mary was born to Henry VIII and Catherine of Aragon. Her early years were peaceful. She was educated like a future ruler, respected, admired. She believed she was safe. She was wrong. When Mary was still young, her father decided he wanted a son, and when destiny refused to give him one, he forced the hand of fate. Henry cast aside Mary's mother, not quietly, not gently, but publicly. England watched a queen fall, and Mary fell with her. She was no longer called princess. She was declared illegitimate, a child without a future, a daughter without a mother. She was forbidden from seeing Catherine again. Mary never saw her mother alive again. In the palace, silence became dangerous. Servants avoided her eyes. Nobles avoided her name, because in England now, loyalty could be fatal. Mary learned something very young. Power decides what is true, and survival sometimes requires obedience, even when obedience breaks your heart. Years passed in uncertainty. Kings married, queens died, alliances shifted. Mary survived them all, quietly, carefully, waiting. In 1553, after decades of fear, the moment arrived. Mary rallied an army to seize her birthright. She became queen, not by marriage, not by accident, but by blood. She was England's first queen in her own right. Crowds celebrated her. Church bells rang. At last, Mary believed God had restored what had been taken. But Mary remembered something England did not. She remembered how quickly a kingdom could turn against its faith. To her, Protestantism was not politics, it was a sickness, and sickness must be burned away. The executions began slowly, then they became common. Men, women, preachers, farmers. Nearly 300 people were burned at the stake. Smoke rose into the English sky again and again. The fires were meant to purify, but they only created fear. And fear creates names. That is when history began to brand her Bloody Mary. But Mary did not see herself as cruel. She saw herself as chosen, a protector of souls. Because Mary had spent her entire life believing one thing, that losing faith meant losing everything. She had already lost her mother, her title, her childhood. She would not lose God, not again. She married Philip of Spain, hoping to secure a Catholic future. But she hoped for something else, a child, someone who would never be cast aside the way she had been. Soon, Mary believed she was pregnant. The court celebrated. Her body changed. Her hope grew. But the child never came. It was a phantom pregnancy. Her body had mimicked life while harboring death. Likely a sickness, not an heir. And with that realization, Mary's strength began to fade. The executions did not restore England. The marriage did not bring love. The crown did not bring peace. Mary, who had once been the people's princess, died knowing they were waiting for her end. In 1558, Mary died. No great ceremony followed. England moved forward quickly under a new queen, her sister, the daughter of the woman who had replaced her mother, Elizabeth I. And history chose which sister it would remember kindly.
Mary became a warning, a ghost of fire and fear, a name spoken in dark rooms. But legends are easier to remember than people, because people are complicated. Mary was not born a monster. She was made by betrayal, by faith, by fear, and by the terrible belief that suffering could save a nation. So if you stand before a mirror and whisper her name 3 times, nothing will appear. Because Bloody Mary was never a ghost. She was a queen, a frightened child who grew into power and never escaped the shadows of her past.